The greenhouse effect is a natural process that warms the Earth's surface. It occurs when the sun's energy reaches the Earth, and some of it is reflected back to space while the rest is absorbed and re-radiated as heat. Greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, trap some of this heat, preventing it from escaping into space. This process helps to keep the Earth's temperature within a range that supports life. However, human activities have significantly increased the concentration of these greenhouse gases, enhancing the greenhouse effect and leading to global warming and climate change. 12 causes of the greenhouse effect. 1. Burning fossil fuels. The combustion of fossil fuels for energy, coal, oil, and natural gas, releases large amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. For example, vehicles, power plants, and industrial processes emit significant carbon dioxide when fossil fuels are burned. 2. Deforestation. Cutting down forests reduces the number of trees that can absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. For instance, when trees are removed for agriculture or urban development, the carbon stored in trees is released, contributing to increased greenhouse gas levels. 3. Agricultural practices. Certain agricultural practices, such as the use of synthetic fertilizers, release nitrous oxide, a potent greenhouse gas. Livestock farming also produces methane through digestion and manure management, contributing to the greenhouse effect. 4. Industrial emissions. Industries release various greenhouse gases during manufacturing processes. For example, cement production emits carbon dioxide when limestone is heated, and chemical production can release other potent greenhouse gases. 5. Waste management. Landfills produce methane as organic waste decomposes anaerobically, without oxygen. Poor waste management practices can lead to increased emissions of this greenhouse gas. 6. Use of refrigerants. Many refrigeration and air conditioning systems use hydrofluorocarbons, HFCs, which are potent greenhouse gases. Although these substances are not released in large quantities, their global warming potential is much higher than carbon dioxide. 7. Energy production. The generation of electricity from coal and natural gas contributes significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. For example, coal-fired power plants are among the largest sources of carbon dioxide emissions globally. 8. Transportation. The transportation sector, including cars, trucks, airplanes, and ships, relies heavily on fossil fuels. The combustion of these fuels produces carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, making transportation a significant contributor to climate change. 9. Land use changes. Converting natural landscapes into urban areas or agricultural land alters the Earth's surface, affecting its ability to absorb carbon dioxide. Urbanization often leads to more emissions due to increased energy consumption and vehicle use. 10. Soil disturbance. Agricultural practices that disturb the soil, such as tilling, can release stored carbon into the atmosphere. Soil management practices that minimize disturbance can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. 11. Natural disasters. Events like wildfires and volcanic eruptions can release large amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. For instance, wildfires not only release carbon stored in trees but also reduce the ability of the land to absorb carbon dioxide in the future. 12. Population growth. As the global population increases, so does the demand for energy, food, and resources. This higher demand often leads to increased greenhouse gas emissions from various sectors, including energy production, agriculture, and transportation. 12 impacts or effects of greenhouse effect. 1. Global warming. The most direct effect of the enhanced greenhouse effect is the increase in Earth's average temperature. This warming can lead to extreme heat events and alter climate patterns around the world. 2. Melting ice caps and glaciers. Higher temperatures cause polar ice caps and glaciers to melt, contributing to rising sea levels. For example, the Arctic ice is shrinking rapidly, which poses threats to polar ecosystems and wildlife. 3. Rising sea levels. As glaciers and ice sheets melt, the volume of water in the oceans increases, leading to rising sea levels. This can cause flooding in coastal areas and threaten communities, infrastructure, and ecosystems. 4. Ocean acidification. Increased levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere also lead to higher carbon dioxide concentrations in oceans, causing ocean acidification. This affects marine life, particularly organisms with calcium carbonate shells, like corals and shellfish. 5. Changes in weather patterns. The greenhouse effect alters weather patterns, leading to more frequent and severe weather events such as hurricanes, droughts, and heavy rainfall. For example, regions may experience longer droughts or intense rainfall, leading to flooding. 6. Impact on biodiversity. Changing climates and habitats can threaten species that are unable to adapt quickly to new conditions. This can lead to shifts in species distribution, loss of biodiversity, and even extinction for some vulnerable species. 7. Disruption of ecosystems. Alterations in temperature and precipitation patterns can disrupt ecosystems, affecting plant and animal life. For example, shifts in flowering times can impact pollinators and the animals that rely on those plants for food. 8. Increased frequency of extreme weather events. The greenhouse effect is linked to an increase in extreme weather events, including heat waves, floods, and storms. For instance, hurricanes are becoming more intense due to warmer ocean temperatures. 9. Agricultural challenges. Changes in climate can disrupt agricultural productivity by altering growing seasons, increasing pests and diseases, and affecting water availability. This can threaten food security in many regions. 10. Human health risks. Rising temperatures and changing weather patterns can lead to health risks, including heat-related illnesses, respiratory issues due to poor air quality, and the spread of vector-borne diseases, e.g., malaria, dengue fever. 11. Economic impacts. The effects of the greenhouse effect can lead to significant economic costs, including damage to infrastructure from extreme weather events, increased healthcare costs, and losses in agricultural production. For example, rising sea levels can damage coastal cities and ports. 12. Displacement of populations. Rising sea levels and extreme weather can lead to the displacement of communities, particularly in low-lying coastal areas. This can result in climate refugees, increasing social and political tensions as people are forced to relocate.